Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've already watched some of my videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post. Thank you to my newest subscribers, I really do appreciate it. And of course, for those of you who have been subscribed with me for a while, I always appreciate you. So it's that time. It's almost payday. Yay! I get more money in my account. I'm getting pretty low. But I thought I'd just check in with my cash envelopes and my sinking funds so you know how that all is going. Alright, so first up is my giving envelope, and this has a bit of a story. So, first of all, oops, I'm just going to leave the lids off, at least the green and the black, because I'm pretty sure I don't need red right now. So I actually spent $0 of this, and I will explain why. So the first week after I got paid, the first weekend after I got paid, I went to visit my parents, and I preferred tithing to my own church, just because it is every little bit helps them, and I want to help my own church. So that's why I didn't do it the first week. And the second week I was supposed to go back to my church because I was back in my own home. However, we got hit with Hurricane Dorian, and we were gonna try and do church, but there was an issue with the building, and we just couldn't do it. So I wasn't actually able to give my tithe. So I am gonna keep this money, for this upcoming Sunday, and I'll put this 120 plus the 60 from my next pay, and that'll go towards that full 180 will count as my tithe to my church. It's just circumstances were kind of against us this month, so this week, past 2 weeks, so I've kind of still got that money, but it is going to go to the proper place. So this is my giving envelope. So 50, 60, 110, 120. So there is my giving. That will get put to the appropriate people next week. So restaurants is next. I had budgeted $40 because I had $20 left from that first week in August. And so, funny story, I was actually getting ready to record this video because I do record it a little bit in advance, and my brother called and said, "Hey, look, I'm in Halifax for my job. You want to go out for lunch?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Just, I'm on a budget, so nowhere fancy." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem." So we ended up going to lunch, and I covered his lunch, and then he covered my dessert because we went to a local ice cream shop and got some ice cream. So I had spent barely any of this, so I had spent $7.10, so I would have had $30 left over. However, that kind of flipped because of going out with him, and we did trade, so he paid for dessert, I paid for the meal, but that still means I didn't have as much. But I also had been really good about saying no, as witnessed by the fact that I did have $30 left before going with him. So I felt, and because it's so rare for him to come up and spend time with me, usually he's coming up for a job and then going straight back home, I just felt like I needed to spend that money. So yeah. So, restaurant. I'm just going to dump this out because it was all given back to me and changed, so this is all going to go to the side. And be given to change. My change envelopes, which is a good boost to my change envelopes. So, 20, 40, oh my goodness. I need to sleep better, obviously. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 50, 75, 80, 90. So that's $9.90, and it's going in my change envelope. What's next? So fun got, well, it didn't get 20. It was budgeted 20, but I spent all that at the beginning of the month. So that balances out to 0. And just to prove it, so you know that I'm not leading you on or anything, fun envelope. And that is empty. So next up, groceries. Thankfully, I did stay under budget. So I had 65. I budgeted, oops, that's not what I meant. I spent 57.90, which meant I should have 7.10 left. And because we were really lucky and only lost power because of Dorian for 6 hours, I didn't actually end up having to toss any of my food, which thank goodness, because, you know, I just bought that chicken breast and they were frozen, and I mean, they could have lasted probably a couple days without power, but there's still people without power as of Tuesday when I'm recording this video. So yeah, so right, groceries, so there's the 5. So 6, 25, 50, 75, 7, 5, 10. So this change is going to go off to the side, and this 5 is actually going to be put off to the side. It's going to go towards my debt snowball. So we'll just put that over there, and I'll remember to put that in my bank account. So, oops, wrong pen. For my bus, I budgeted 0 because this was a 3rd paycheck. I already had bought my bus pass for September, and I didn't want to get ahead on my September bus pass because then it would have messed everything up. So I just decided to budget 0. So bus. Okay, so all together I had $245 budgeted for my cash envelopes. I spent 108 of those dollars, which means I have $137 left. And the only reason that's so big is, again, because my tithes didn't get to my church. But it is what it is. It'll get there. I'll make sure of it. Okay, so I kind of give you a sneak peek. But from now on, I'm going to start doing, giving you updates on my emergency fund and my brother's tuition at the end of the month, the last bi-weekly check-in. And that'll do on the sheet, because then it'll just use that extra space, or at least some of that extra space. So, first of all, is my gifts. I budgeted 50, and this includes the 25 from the past 2 weeks. Or no, 25, yeah, from the past 2 weeks, because it's just easier that way. And it's how I'm going to do the system. So this amount is always going to reflect the total that I have in the actual envelope. Not necessarily the amount I budgeted per week, because usually I just budget $25 per paycheck. So it just makes more sense to me. So gifts. $20, $40, $45, $50. And right now I'm saving up for Christmas, although there is one more birthday, but that's in the beginning of November, so I still have plenty of time to save for Christmas. For vacation, excuse me, I had $50. I spent 0 of those dollars, which means I keep forgetting to change. I should have 50 still in there. application. Oh, that's the wrong way. There we go. Yep. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So for my Misc, I had 30. I spent 0 of it, which means I still should have 30, although once I get my second paycheck, I am going to have to spring for birth control because my prescriptions, I'm on my last pack, so I want to get my prescription refilled. So Misc, 10, 20, 30. Giving me trouble. Subscriptions, which will be used in a couple of months for its intended use, which is a Disney Plus subscription. I had 50. I spent 0, so I should still have that 50. $10, $20, $30, $40, $50. Just in case I didn't show it, there it is. And finally, my hockey envelope. So I had 190 because I did stuff $90 for that last paycheck, third paycheck of August. So, and I didn't spend any of it, so I should have the 190. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, 180, 190. And I did it for a second time in a row. I managed to count it even though the 50s made things uneven. Go me! How was everyone's August? Are your sinking funds growing? Did you have to withdraw from your sinking funds? What's going on? Let me know in the comments below. So I budgeted $370 in sinking funds. I spent $0, which means I am under budget by $370. So yay! So for my emergency fund, after I took some money out to help pay for my brother's tuition, I have $550.44, and the 44 cents is from interest I gained on the account / my part of the share, because it's a credit union, so you have to buy a share and they deposit it every few months. I added $150, which brought me to a total of $700.44. It should be 800 would be September, 900 October. So November, barring any circumstances in which I need to use that emergency fund, I should be at that $1,000 mark finally again. For my brother's tuition, I started out with 0 after I paid what was due on August 2nd. I added $200 to that account, which I have specifically for him, set aside for him, and then I'll change it over to use it for the rest of my sinking funds, separate from my hockey sinking fund, once his tuition is out of the way, for his final part of the tuition is out of the way. So for his tuition, I have $200 set aside already, which is good. So as always, please do consider subscribing, hitting that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post. I am planning to hold a giveaway at 100 subscribers, so please do that. And if you have any ideas for the giveaway prizes, do let me know in either the comments below or by sending me an email, which is in the description box. And please do like and comment on my videos. I love hearing your feedback and what you want to see more of. Thank you all. Until next time. Bye.